I am Brent Money Banks.
My name is Speedball Mike Bailey. I'm a 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo. I'm an artist, I'm a fighter, and I love to do this.
Tonight, I'm gonna prove to the whole world what I usually say to everyone anyway, but tonight I'm gonna prove what I am, money, and it's about time that Brent Money Banks takes his talents overseas to England and shows that side of the world why I truly am money.
It's an active goal of mine to wrestle in as many countries as possible, to represent Canada like so many other greats have represented their own countries traveling all over the world. And this Canada Cup falls directly in what I want to do with wrestling. I want to show the world what happens in Canada.
Why will Brent Money Banks win this tournament? That's a very good question, because who am I getting in the ring with tonight? Speedball Mike Bailey, the Karate Kid. Listen, I'm gonna walk into that ring, I'm gonna slap that kid around, I'm gonna definitely sweep the leg, I'm gonna break it in half, and then I'm gonna move on to the next round. For anybody else who wants to step into the ring with Brent Money Banks, because tonight's all about money, and I'm taking this worldwide.
You know, I don't think I'm ahead of the others. I don't know that I'm gonna win this. I never approach situations that way. I know I'm well trained. I've proven myself in the ring several times. I know I have what it takes to win. I don't know that I'm gonna win. I'm gonna have to prove to myself and everyone else at the same time, one match at a time, why I'm gonna win.
Time for our first round match in these Canadian qualifiers. This could be a high-flying encounter, Alex, between Mike Bailey and Brent Banks.
And I'll tell you what, one man I've been looking forward to seeing in the flesh right here in Toronto is Mike Bailey. Because if you've not heard of him before, trust me, you will remember his name by the end of this. Taking nothing away from Brent Banks, but this one may just be a show stealer.
Such a variety of different styles in these Canadian qualifiers. I promise you this one will be very different to the first two matches you saw. I'm excited for this.
Well, I'm also excited, if not somewhat exhausted. I spent the entire afternoon going around Toronto looking for the Sky Dome. It's not even called the Sky Dome anymore.
It's pretty easy to find.
The Rogers Centre. No wonder Hogan got confused.
The following contest is a first round match in the World Cup Canadian qualifiers and scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Montreal, Quebec, weighing in tonight at 185 pounds, Speedball Mike Bailey!
Mike Bailey, as you said, Alex, one of the world's most exciting young talents, and as you can see, he's demonstrating here, an expert in Taekwondo. Very much martial arts influences in his style, as you're going to see here.
And this guy can fly. He's got like springs for kneecaps.
What?
Springs for kneecaps. I mean, not literally. I'd hope.
Bailey in the ring, and we await the arrival of his opponent.
And his opponent, from Toronto, Ontario, weighing in at 194 pounds, he is the one-man dynasty, Brent Banks!
Brent Banks, an 11-year veteran who's had a lot of success across the independent scene, particularly in Canada. Mike Bailey, for his part, of course, been very successful in Canada as well, but also had a lot of victories in CZW, Combat Zone Wrestling in the US, and he's been over to the UK for such promotions as Rev Pro. So Bailey perhaps the slightly better travelled, but nonetheless, as you say, two very well-matched young men.
And Brent Banks has something very big in common with Doug Williams.
What's that?
Neither of them are related to Travis Banks.
Allegedly.
Tell that to WCPW Creative.
No one would admit to being related to Travis Banks, I don't think.
I'm excited for this one, Dave.
Look at the stretching here from Mike Bailey.
I was going to say my nipples look like FTM's helmet. That's how excited I am.
What? Oh, just don't point them this way. All right, we're getting underway. Bailey and Banks, and listen to this crowd. These two are such favourites of fans across Canada.
And you know what that is, Dave? Because these guys have made a habit and a living of tearing the house down when they compete.
Well, these two are very much enjoying this reception from the fans, but things are going to get serious here in just a minute.
And if I could liken these two to anyone, and I'm probably going to get crucified for saying this, but it's Ricochet and Will Ospreay. Those two guys who have just set a new standard. But the exciting thing about this, it reminds me of matches like the first time I saw Rey Mysterio in the ECW arena, or when I saw Guerrero Malenko in the ECW arena also. To most of the people watching this show, these will be two completely new talents, and they know that this will be the most watched match that they have ever had in their career, and I guarantee they'll pull out all the stops, and similar to those guys I mentioned before, they will leave your jaw open and may just go on to do great things.
It's a great showcase for the Canadian wrestling scene, is this. You know, the British wrestling scene was in a similar position a few years ago with lots of great talent, but not quite the exposure it felt it deserved. Now, of course, the British scene has exploded. The Canadians feel like, you know, they're every bit as talented, but they don't quite get the stage to perform on.
And talking about that great talent, it's not all about the World Cup on this show, because we will see Gabriel Kidd defending his Internet Championship against the incredible Zack Sabre Jr. And in a non-title match before the end of this broadcast, we will see Joe Hendry take on the Mexican sensation, El Ligero.
Yeah, flew to Canada to escape Joe Hendry, and he's here. Anyway, let's get underway with this one. Jimmy Corderas is getting a bit of love as well.
He's got the most Twitter followers in this match.
Well, that doesn't mean anything, does it?
What world are you living in, Dave? Social media footprint is all.
You are so insecure.
I'm like a digital media Sasquatch hunter.
What?
It's a footprint reference.
I give up. Bailey and Banks finally locking up here. Banks is going to push Bailey back into the corner. Will we get a clean break? Into the ropes, rather, not the corner, but he's having a bit of fun, but Banks does deliver the clean break.
That's where they come from, is Canada, isn't it? In Saskatchewan.
Okay, well, first of all, it's Saskatchewan, and it's got nothing to do with Sasquatches, but can we move on?
Colonel tie into a wrist lock there, so I moved on.
That's very grown up of you.
Look at this, look at the speed of those reversals from Brent Banks. Wow, and look, wow, my God.
Bailey more than equal to it as he's going to get backed into the ropes a second time. Will we get a second clean break from Banks?
And smart there, Brett Banks tried to send Mike Bailey off into the ropes, and Bailey was having none of it.
Oh, and this time it's Bailey playing the mind games. In the end, after looking like he was going to hit Banks, offering the handshake.
You've heard of the 1-inch punch? That was like the 1-inch handshake. That was super fast.
Bailey with a smirk on his face as Banks is a little bit annoyed that he got outsmarted there. I think he thought he had the psychological upper hand. We're back to square one between these two. Another tie-up. This time Banks goes behind with a rear waist lock. Bailey going to counter. And he's taken down. There's an example there of Bailey's amateur wrestling skills, not just a martial artist, but a great wrestler too.
Front face lock there, into a waist lock. And Banks trying to find a way out of it, the taller of the two men.
We may see that a lot in this match, that sometimes the only way to escape the predicament you're in is to go to the ropes. It's the third time we've seen that.
And trust me, before this one is done, that won't be the only kind of going to the ropes we're going to see. I'm predicting flying, and not just because I have to leave Canada and go back to England after this.
You can go now if you want.
My helicopter's not warmed up yet.
You can't fly to England in a helicopter from Canada. Or actually, I'd like you to try.
My speedboat is like midway and I'll refuel.
Kick to the midsection there from Banks. He's slap, there's a slap. Now there really is this attempt to goad Bailey into making a mistake here.
Up and over. Second up and over there by Bailey. Going for a third up and over, this time with a backflip. Bailey charges, hits the ropes, comes back, leapfrog. Comes back again, second leapfrog, roll through. Off the rope, sent pass. Third leapfrog, Dave, I can't keep up.
This is incredible stuff. Banks holds onto the ropes finally.
Wow.
Goes out. And the mental ability that takes, let alone the physical ability, to think on your feet about where your opponent is in the ring at all times, that was absolutely stunning.
They're ninjas.
Banks has rolled back in, but he knows just how dangerous Bailey can be at high speed. That's why eventually he chose to bail out there.
There was more leapfrogs there than an under-9s sports day at a school.
What?
He did leapfrog, potato sack race, egg and spoon.
Did you ever win any of those?
You can't fix them.
There we go. Alex Shane philosophy there in one sentence. As Banks offers a handshake again.
Well, that's not a wise decision, is it, after what we just saw? Goes for the kick once again. Went to the well once too often there.
Bailey thinks he lured him in. He may be right, because sends to the ropes and reversal of the Irish whip. Banks is going to pick him up. Oh, well, backbreaker.
Wow, I mentioned Eddie Guerrero earlier. That was shades of him right there.
And now these mounted punches with the left arm from Banks. Banks is building up a head of steam here. He's going to send Bailey to the ropes again. Knee into the abdomen sends Bailey reeling to the canvas. Interestingly, Bailey tried to alleviate some of the pressure from that knee to the midsection by flipping forwards, but that knee was buried so deep that he attempted to extend his body and just collapsed it as a heap on the floor. So some way of illustrating the force of that knee. Winner of this one's going to face the winner of our next match, which is Tyson Dukes and Kyle O'Reilly in the second round. As Banks backs Bailey into the corner, big chop across the chest. And the psychological game of chess here between these two has been fascinating to watch. Bailey with a chop. And a second one. Again, this is one-upmanship here, because Banks just did that to him. Banks turns it round into the corner. This is a contest of who can chop the most now.
That would make it two-upmanship.
What?
Right, there's a slap in the face there.
The referee not happy. I think it was a poke to the eye, and Bailey returned in kind. Both of these two determined to match each other, to go one better.
In the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. No idea what that means, but it might be relevant here.
Sounded wise. Drop kick from Banks.
Wow. Look, wow. That was like watching a head-nip version of Michael Jackson doing that weird thing in Moonwalker where he flipped sideways. He nipped up onto his feet and kind of bridged in mid-air. Did anyone else notice that? Is that just me?
Incredible skill there from Banks, but now he's showing the other side of his character. There's a slightly cocky element to Brent Banks.
Dave, if I could move like that, I'd be cocky about everything.
You are cocky about everything.
I'd brush my teeth cocky, I'd flush the toilet cocky.
What have you got to be cocky about after going to the toilet?
I'm not going to answer that. I think we should focus on the match.
Well, yeah.
Getting distracted.
Be a first for you.
Look at this.
Yeah, Banks with those repeated stomps between the shoulder blades of Bailey.
He is eliminating the competition, not just in this tournament, but, you know, for the accolades and admiration of the Canadian fan base. These guys are very, very similar, in my opinion. They're at the same place in their career. And as we found out, wrestling is incredibly competitive when it comes to getting those big money contracts and that high-profile main event spot.
See, the danger here, though, I think, for both of these guys is they want to obviously leave it all out there in this first round match and try and impress a global audience, but if you win, you've got to have conserved enough energy to give yourself a chance in the second round. Bailey, again with the chops, he's going to send Banks to the ropes once more. Reversal by Banks. Bailey going to hold on.
Charge there by Banks, and he runs straight into that boot by Bailey. Goes to it again, ducks a clothesline, does Bailey. And a duck of a kick, and what's going on here, Dave? Oh.
Drop kick from Bailey sends Banks into the corner.
It's more like a one-footed karate kick.
Yeah, that martial arts influence starting to come through here from Bailey. Leaping, running knee into the jaw. Going to try for it a second time, maybe. Oh, gets it. Banks is in a lot of trouble. We could be watching the final moments of this one. But Banks moves out of the way. Bailey went to the well once too often. Now Banks is going to try and do the same thing. Bailey moves.
Wow.
Spinning roundhouse kick to the side of the head.
And you heard that one.
Trying to finish it there was Bailey, but Banks is replying with some quick strikes. Banks with a forearm to the side of the head of Bailey. You can see the exhaustion starting to set in.
Straight between the shoulder blades with that one. Drops him on his face, and what's he got in store here? This does not look good, Dave.
Go for that roundhouse kick, I think. Oh, couldn't get it. Misses it a second time. He's put a lot of the best wrestlers in Canada away with that one, and he may put Banks away with it. Could he hit it on the third time of asking, but he didn't get all of it, and Banks got out.
The thing is, a kick like that, if you hit it in the right place, it's enough to knock you out. If you hit it in not exactly the right place, it's enough to temporarily stun you. Banks may have kicked out, but you can see he is in a world of trouble right now.
This has been building for the past couple of minutes. Bailey has been gradually taking the upper hand here. As you say, that roundhouse kick, not enough to finish him, and that one could go a bit further towards, headed that way.
And strangely, he's taking the upper hand with both his feet.
What?
Well, it's more like the upper foot.
Okay. Bailey is trying to think now, how he can finish this after that roundhouse kick didn't get it done for him. Banks pushing him away. Banks is doing anything at this point to try and give himself a reprieve, but Bailey is going to come off the second turnbuckle here, maybe. Leapfrog. Rolls through. Banks is waiting for him. Handspring. Gets caught, and Banks slams him down. Spinning. Sit out. Powerbomb. And oh my goodness, how close was that?
And a big mistake. Right there by Banks, in my opinion. You see, the reason that I don't brush my teeth cocky or flush the toilet cocky is accidents can happen. It's a horrible fault. But right there, if Banks had been less cocky, he'd have put more effort into that pinfall, and he may just be in the second round right now.
Well, even so, he looks like he could just be moments away from it, because Bailey, although he was able to get out, is gasping for air like a fish out of water. Bailey he was going to be sent to the outside. He landed on his feet. Banks doesn't see it yet. Now he does. Bailey will get a shoulder thrust into the midsection. Bailey will come off the top. He's been caught. Banks has caught Bailey on his shoulders. Bailey trying to escape, maybe go for a sunset flip. And it gets it. Shoulders down for Banks. There's two, but it's only two. God, this is a great match.
Wow.
Leapfrog and a back flip from Banks.
Hold on, he's not done. Look at this by Bailey, my God!
A PK, a penalty kick from Bailey. Shades of Shibata from New Japan. And Banks wisely has rolled out of the ring to give himself another reprieve here, but Bailey isn't going to let him rest. Bailey off the middle of the moonsault. Unreal.
My gosh.
Remarkable stuff from Mike Bailey.
Dave, I had made that prediction earlier that this may just be a show stealer. But I'm telling you now, even I'm amazed at this one. These guys pulling out all the stops. They are pulling out stops I never even knew were there in the first place to be pulled out.
It's going to be hard to top as this one, as Bailey's found a bottle of water and wouldn't deprive him of that. Must be absolutely shattered here. Where is Banks? Let's get a view of Banks if we can, because he must be doing even worse after taking the brunt of that impact from that moonsault. There he is. It is, as you would expect, Bailey to his feet first. Bailey's rolling Banks back in and waiting for Banks to get in position. Bailey, springboard off the top. He missed. He tripped. Bailey tripped. Okay, Banks a chance, but oh no, from nowhere. Another spinning kick, knocking Banks silly.
Oh my.
Slap from Banks. That's not pretty. That's one way to stop him. And Banks again with Bailey on his shoulders. He tried this earlier. Bailey escaped last time. He rams him into the turnbuckle. Look at the way that Bailey's head snapped backwards. Oh, counter! Victory roll! Victory roll! Is that going to do it? No! Didn't sit back enough as a standing moonsault.
It was like a standing knee salt.
I think he hit with the knee. It's like a knee drop to beat him and he didn't get it. Goodness me, this is exhausting to watch.
You know, people have said throughout pro wrestling, when's the next Attitude Era? What's the next Attitude Era? WWE tried to get across the reality wrestling era. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, Dave Bradshaw, what era this is. This is the independent wrestling era. You're seeing the influence of independent wrestling across every stage in the world, and this is the reason why.
Banks with the knee into the jaw of Bailey. Oh my God! My God, what was that from Mike Bailey? Whatever it wasn't enough.
It was a moonsault body slam. Oh, it's corkscrew and a miss.
Banks will go to the second rope, gets an ace crusher from the top, or from the second rope, I should say. Gonna go for it again. A sliced bread cover.
That's got to be all. That's got to be all. That's not all. Oh.
Kick to the side of the head from Banks. Takes him down, face first, into the canvas. Is Bailey out? No, he's not.
My God. My God. Dave Bradshaw, what else is there left in the entire world of wrestling moves that these two can do to each other that haven't already been done?
They are on their feet in Toronto, Ontario, for two of their own who are showcasing the very best of Canadian wrestling. Banks, once more, gonna try and ram Bailey to the corner. The Canadian destroyer.
How apt indeed, Dave. And look at that.
Another spinning martial arts kick from Bailey. Oh, we've seen this. We've heard of this before. There it is.
My God.
There it is, the shooting star knee drop. He's beaten some of the best in Canada with that, and he beats Brent Banks here in Toronto. What
Winner of this
a
contest,
match!
Speedball Mike Bailey!
Many people have spoken about the emergence of indie wrestling, Dave Bradshaw, and then the big scene that everybody's talking about now is the UK scene. Well, I'm going to tell you right here in 2017 for the WCPW World Cup, Dave, the Canadian independent wrestling scene has just spoken, and its words were Brent Banks and Mike Bailey. My God.
Mike Bailey advances to the second round, but the question is, Alex, how much does he have left? He's going to have to face the winner of Kyle O'Reilly versus Tyson Dukes. That match is next, but it is Mike Bailey who advances to the second round.